So first I want to thank everybody for being here. I'm from Waterloo Region Law Association. I'm the ED and library manager there, and Joanne is from...
I'm from PL Law Association. I'm the law library director and the executive officer.
So just going to quickly run through the agenda. I do realize we're a little bit behind. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about what is membership engagement, understanding the membership engagement ladder, characteristics of a great member engagement strategy. We're going to talk a little bit about how to turn our theories into practice. We're going to talk also a little bit about what Peel does at their law association and what we do at ours. We're going to give you a couple of resources, and our hope is that you will take away at least three things that you can use at your association for membership engagement. So what is membership engagement? So Tom Lehman says it's a meaningful and ongoing relationship between an individual and an organization. And Todd Von Dijk says engagement is being inside, part of a family, not looking on the outside, looking in, wondering what's going on. So really what it boils down to is building a sense of community within your association, and kind of gauging that how much members of your community actively interact with each other and with the association.
Okay, I want you to think about your membership association right now. Think about the people that it is comprised of. You have a wide range of members. You have new members, you have old members, you have returned members. They all fall onto this sort of spectrum of potential member engagement levels. So your newest members, the ones that you worked so hard to recruit, they're at the onboarding stage, and you have to treat them very differently than you do the people who are at the other end, who are your fans, your brand ambassadors. So I have yet to find a better example of a member engagement spectrum than this one. It sort of tells you exactly where you are. You probably are up at the higher end of this particular scale, but you need to adapt your strategies to engage each of the different levels of membership appropriately. How you communicate with a new member is not the same way that you communicate with someone who's been a member for 30 years. And also you'll see that there are some people who are increasing their investment and participation when you're doing your succession planning for your board. These are the people you need to be looking at, not necessarily the newest people, but the people who are interested and are at a point in their career when they want to get more engaged. So you'll probably get the slides afterwards, but this is a really good one to just have tucked away. I find it very valuable to keep looking at it.
So Joanne just talked about the ladder and where everybody is on the ladder and why it's important to engage at different parts of the ladder. But then the question kind of becomes too, why do members leave? And some of the things that I know we've discussed about and talked is, and we found in our association, are that they could be relocating to a new community. So that's kind of completely out of your control. But I found that was a big reason why people left the WRLA, especially during COVID. They were relocating somewhere else because they could work remotely, and so didn't need the WRLA anymore. They find a lack of value. So this is where engagement really comes in. Sometimes the cost is prohibitive to them. And it could just be for various reasons. Sometimes the cost is just prohibitive for that 1 year or two, so you can have strategies in place to help out with that. There is a lack of engagement or connection with the organization. So I talked in the beginning about how you need to make them feel like they're part of a community. If they're not feeling like they're part of your community, they will likely leave. I found in the last 2 years that most are just forget to renew. So there is we have strategies in place, which I'll talk about later, in terms of for those that are a little bit more forgetful. Some members have left the profession. Again, we have strategies in place for that as well, but again, there's not much that you can do for that. And sometimes, I know for us, probably for you, the employer just stopped paying for it, and they find the expense prohibitive for them, and therefore can't pay for it themselves.
So, why should you even care about membership engagement? Isn't it enough to just have members come back year after year and hope that you get a few new ones? That's a really flimsy strategy. You're always going to have diminishing returns. You're going to have people, aging out of the profession, people dying. You may not get new members. It costs 5 times more money and effort to acquire a new member than it does to retain a member. So you want to keep your core base, but you also want to attract new cohorts, not necessarily new lawyers, but if people are coming to your region, you need to find them and get them included. So you also need to ask yourself why it is you want to get more members. I think for most of us, it's to generate more revenue. We're all not-for-profits. That's the biggest tension point. But maybe you want to start, again, leaning into your succession planning for the board. You have an aging bar. You need to get young blood and start cultivating talent. You need to attract them into the association and see what they're capable of. You need to start identifying that talent. Maybe you want to just get more people engaged in your programs. Maybe you haven't had very much traction in your events or your programs, and you're going to have to find ways to get people excited about it. And a good strategy is going to help you do that.
So what would be the characteristics of this great strategy? So Joanne and I identified about 6 characteristics. We looked at it being member-centric. So by that I mean that the inclusion of as many members as possible. Noting too that you will have younger members and members who are a little bit more experienced as well. You have some that are very engaged and some that are not as engaged. We also felt that it should be a year-round activity. So your member engagement shouldn't just start and end with your membership renewal period. It should be year-round. Hybrid is another great way of offering membership strategy. We at the WRLA appeal as well. We offer hybrid payment methods, hybrid events. So there's different ways to participate with the association, and you can. For us, we use Wild Apricot, so our members can renew their membership automatically. So there's an automatic kind of component to your membership engagement as well. For those that don't want to hear from you directly, and are just happy with doing the online thing, you can do it online. We have we use Affinity Pay. You can e-transfer. You can do checks. We also like it when you come in person as well, so when our members come in person and pay in person. So there's that hybrid kind of thing. Our events are done now mostly in person. Some are online. We also offer our CPD events either online or in person or hybrid. And with that comes being able to adapt your strategy. So with COVID, we saw a lot of us having to adapt our strategy. And so that continues. We were hoping at our association that come 2022, and it's all done, we'd all come back in person. That's not the way it's working out for our membership. Our membership likes to have things still virtually and some things in person. So we're having to adapt that strategy in order to get the most participation possible. And constant reevaluation. So we are constantly reevaluating everything we do. The board is great at our association for offering feedback, but so are our members. And we ask our members for feedback in person through surveys, and we also ask them to participate with planning in that so that they can offer their evaluation at that point as well.
So once again, I'm referencing some intel from Higher Logic. This is the distillation of some research that they conducted gauging member engagement across a wide variety of professional associations in North America. And these are the top member engagement tools ranked from most engaging to least engaging. So when you look at this list, you might think, that doesn't necessarily align with what we're doing or what our strategy is for engagement. And of course, it may vary from association to association, but I do think that there is something to take away here. People think that newsletters and emails are not relevant or engaging. In fact, I think that they perhaps are the most engaging tools you have in your tool belt. And you'll see things like advocacy and mentoring. It's lower on the list. It's not to say it's not valuable, but it's not perceived as having as high a value as some of the other things that you could be doing.
So what is the value proposition? So it's important for us to constantly be telling our members what it is that they get. And you'll see on your right, a picture of what Peel uses to show their members their value proposition. I believe you have it in your washrooms.
In every washroom
Yeah.
stall, captive audience.
Yeah. And so we have robbed and borrowed that from ours, and it's quite effective. People do come out of the washrooms asking if they can join. We implemented this 2 months ago, and we've already had 3 new members join us from the washroom stalls. We ask. So in this, you'll see that it lists exactly what they get, and that's what it does in ours as well. So where are their savings? What does their membership get them in terms of savings? And so I think that's a great way to demonstrate to your members. Ask your members what they want. Just directly ask them and get rid of things that don't work. Don't spend time on things that aren't working for your association or for your members. Just get rid of them.
Yeah, it's important to not get emotionally attached to things and keep doing them just because that's the way things have always been done. And Pia and I had a conversation about this. If you hear yourself saying, but that's the way we've always done things, you need to start reevaluating how you're doing things. That is not a good reason to do anything. So we're doing an interesting little thing now. It's kind of like show and tell. And I'm going to show you some stuff that we do at Peel, and then Pia is going to counter with some stuff that they do at Waterloo. So, as far as email digests and newsletters, we have a quarterly magazine. When I started at PLA 2 years ago, we had a very sad little newsletter. Very sad. I'm sorry, Ariel. I know you worked on it at one point. It was not doing a really great job at celebrating our awesome membership base. So we kind of threw it out and started from scratch, and now we do a quarterly magazine. Our most recent issue is 59 pages long, and it's cram-packed full of content. We are on the verge of getting activated with Wild Apricot, and we'll be able to send targeted emails. Until that time, however, we use these colorful headers on our emails as sort of signifiers. So you know if you get the purple one, you know everybody needs to pay attention to that. It's a professional notice. If it's the pink one, it's an event, whatever, you don't care about that, that's fine. But it really, since we started using those, we're actually seeing, higher engagement with the email notices that we're bombarding our poor members with on a daily basis.
So at the Waterloo Region Law Association, we do a monthly e-newsletter. Ours is not in print. We use Wild Apricot for that. We have a current awareness service. So because we're on Wild Apricot, we're able to send targeted emails to certain groups. And we do current awareness services of Frank Salve's family law newsletter, Max criminal law bulletin. We send that out. And I know that we've had family law lawyers join just for that. We also use social media. So we use LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. I believe you use LinkedIn and Twitter or X. Right?
Yes, we do, and I do believe that our social media presence has evolved significantly. It's still a work in progress. Staff are doing professional development training to specifically guide them in best practices for social media. It's not something you can just wake up and do, no matter how much you think you know how to do it. And we're still trying to maybe consider Instagram. We're not really sure. Events. Events is something we're quite proud of in Peel. Our events are very specific to our region. The demographics of Peel region, as you know, are very different from other areas. So we have big things like our Black History Month Expo. It's a full-day event. Recently we had it in February. 253 people in our lounge. That was a violation of the fire code, but we will speak no more of that. It was very successful, vendors, speeches, and that's an open invitation to the entire courthouse to come out. We also do other events throughout the year targeting new calls, women's events. We're doing a collaboration with Halton, a drag karaoke event. So we're always dabbling, trying new things, but we try to do something every couple of months. Judges' Night is our biggest event of the year. It happens every September. And you can see some of the people having fun.
So like Peel, we are very proud of our events at the Waterloo region. It's targeted for our region as well. We hold our AGM and awards dinner. That is one of our biggest events. The award that is given out is the Coulter A. Osborne Award. Some of you are familiar with Coulter. He was a member of our association. He passed last year, but we've been giving out an award in his honor for many years now. And we do something monthly every Thursday called Thirsty Thursdays. This is free for our members. It is a chance for our new members of our bar and law students to come out and meet our more experienced members of our bar. And the bar is, we rotate between Waterloo, Kitchener, and Cambridge. Our social committee picks a bar. And we pay for the first round of drinks and all the apps, and it's free for our members and for the students as well. We have an annual golf tournament. We do our opening of our court is free for our members. We have a library and courthouse orientation. It is a full day orientation that involves most of the courthouse staff, our judges, our board, and our board is actually our tour guides for the day, so that's a fun job for them. And then at the library as well. We hold a summer social that is also free. For our members, that's in the lounge. We usually cram well over 100 people into our lounge, which again is in violation of the fire code, but we all look the other way. We have a holiday open house. And then we are developing something new for this year. We're developing a mentorship program, and we will be having a mentorship social as well. So, and you'll notice that for a lot of our events, it is free for our members to attend those. That's a perk, and that's something our members said that they wanted.
We have a lot of free events too. Members, the ones where they are ticketed members, get a significant discount. Okay, so member discounts, on the topic of discounts, I'm always telling our members to work the perk. There are a lot of perks that come in with being a member of the PLA, and I like to make sure that everyone's squeezing as much value out of it as possible. So obviously the FOLA discounts, I think it's a really good thing to constantly re-educate your members about what's available. I did a library orientation session the other day, and one of our members had overlooked that he could have been getting a Via Rail discount, and he was really, really upset because he had been traveling from Montreal to Toronto every few days, so he could have saved a lot of money. We have Good Life memberships for our members as well. Some of them avail of that opportunity. We have a lot of freebies. So we have a meeting space. I'll mention it in a few minutes. Members are allowed to use that space for free during business hours. Everybody else has to pay. Booth reservations or soundproof booths, members are allowed to reserve them. They really like that, so they can book them for the afternoon or for a set time every day. We do not extend that to non-members. Free research for members, robe rentals, that's pretty valuable. Non-members pay $20 a day. If they lose them, they pay current market value to replace them for us. Job site postings, divorce mate, and rangefinder, those are all free. As far as discounts on services, we do have lots of little things in the library that people can use. We have, you can purchase court tabs, and we just started this week selling Dickies. Those are quite popular. We lend out glasses. They get discounts on locker rentals where you can do it for a day or a week or a year, but if you're a non-member, you can only do it weekly, so it adds up. CPD programs, obviously you get a significant discount, and the group LSO CPD registrations, that's something we extend to members only, and very often that's what triggers people to become a member, just so they can jump on those group discounts. They're quite significant.
So for us, we offer the LSO CPD at 50% off the group registration, and I know that I work with a lot of you that are in the room to offer those. And so we also offer the FOLA discounts and services. Our freebies include all of our CPD content that is developed by the Waterloo Region Law Association is free for our members. And we do about 9 to 12 original competent CPDs a year, and we are self-accrediting. So most of our members can get all of their CPD hours, including their EDI and professionalism, taking our stuff, and that's all included in their membership. Robe rentals for our members are free. We have equipment rentals, so they laptops, external CD-ROM players, projectors, screens, cords. We often get the criminal lawyers coming in looking for a laptop because they want to take something up to show their clients. So that's all available for our members as well. Research is free for our members. Non-members do have to pay for research. And when I'm thinking research, it's not the quick stuff. It's the research that takes hours to do. Locker rentals as well are free for our members. Non-members do have to pay. We have remote access to certain resources as well that are free for our members. So like Peel, we have Rangefinder, but we also have VLEX and the Irwin Law ebook collection that is available. We have the wrongful dismissal notice searcher. Our members also, all WRLA CPD is recorded and available in the members only section of the website for them to look on demand later, so that's available for them free. And again, they can do our Q booth. We have 2 Q booths in the library, and our members can reserve them, but non-members are not able to reserve. They're able to use, just not reserve. And we also offer Perkopolis, so I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but it is a membership perk program that offers discounts on over 5,000 different things, and it's very easy to set up, and our members are really enjoying that. So right now they're getting a 3 cents off on all their gas at Shell right now, which they're really enjoying.
That's nice. So then we decided to look at innovative spaces. Now, obviously this is not going to be relevant for everybody because you might not have a lot of space, but maybe there's a way that you could use your space differently. We have been sort of recalibrating our space. The bottom left, you'll see a space here we call Behind the Stacks. We used to have a lot of dusty old books that were going to be weeded from the collection. So we weeded them and we got rid of the shelves that they were on, and we were able to carve out a substantial chunk of space to create a meeting room. We had no meeting room. We had no place where we could host a CPD program or have a board meeting or a breakout session. So we created this space that holds 35 people comfortably, 35 people theater style, maybe 25 people classroom style. And we built in some storage, people love it. It's got soundproofing, it's behind the stacks, it's pretty easy to find, and we've been getting really great feedback, and we've done a variety of events there. And people are able to use this space to have a session of their own. We've had some organizations do viewing parties or lunch and learns. They just are responsible for cleaning up and bringing their own food, but otherwise the space is available to them. We have 2 soundproof booths, the Cube booths in our library. They're very popular. And we also recently launched the Slow Zone. You may have heard somebody mentioning that this morning. That's our special space that's dedicated for mental well-being, for lawyers to go and cry or sleep or nurse or pray, or to just like pep themselves up when they're getting ready to go upstairs into a courtroom to do something stressful. So that's been very well received. You can see one of our criminal lawyers here. She was extremely stressed, and she sat down and she calmed down, and there's a little window, you can't see it here, but there's a window so I can keep an eye on people. So if their state is getting more agitated and acute, I can intervene if necessary. But there are plants that I'm trying to keep alive. It's very sort of mellow zone, so we're happy about that.
So for our innovative spaces, we have 2 Cube booths. We have so Waterloo region is a large agricultural region. So we have a little herb and vegetable garden that we grow in the windows of our lounge. And Najla, who is our library technician, has a background in farming and takes excellent care and grows them from seedlings. And then once they're ready to go, we offer them to our members to take home and transplant into their own gardens. We have a members' pet photo display in the library. We notice that our members love coming and showing us pictures of their furry family. And so we have a bulletin board, and they send us our pictures. We print them off, put them up with their pets' names, and it's right inside the library doors, and they love going in to see everybody's pets. Some members even like to comment on how somebody's pet looks like somebody else's.
So you notice that the last slide and this slide both have the word innovative in them. And I wanted to bring to your attention that membership growth in associations is closely correlated with a culture of innovation. So the more you're innovating, the more people will notice. The more likely you are to be responding to their needs, and the more likely they are to be part of your family. So on the topic of innovative tools, we recently got some funding through the Learn Innovation Sandbox grant and have we're in the process of acquiring that thing on the top right, which is an Onyx OCR reader. It allows you to magnify text up to 1,000 times if you have trouble viewing printed material. You can make any color contrast you want, and you can also have the material read to you. You can take a recording of that file home and have a case read to you. So it's on back order because apparently it's insanely popular. The other thing we have is down below, the Pocket Talker. This is to allow people who have problems hearing in events or in CPD sessions or where there are multiple people speaking. The noise can be troubling for people, so this is a special tool that allows them to amplify whatever a speaker is saying or clarify voices in a group setting. We are setting up an Adobe Pro station in our library. That's going to be quite popular. People have been asking for that. We're testing out one license. We're going to see what the traction is, and then maybe we'll get more. We have charging devices for all phones and laptops. This weird long gray thing we have is a video conferencing tool that attaches to the bottom of our television in the behind the stack space, and I think we describe it as the Brady Bunch tool. It auto frames everybody in the room, like the Brady Bunch TV show, and if you get up and walk around, it follows you around the room. So it allows us to do hybrid sessions, meetings, which it's not easy to do, but we're learning the ropes on that. We also have Square. We moved to using Square for all of our transactions. It allows us to do in-person and online transactions, and the transaction fees are very low compared to most banks. So we're happy about that. And Roku. Good old Roku in the lounge. People can watch all kinds of weird, obscure TV shows that they find. And it costs us nothing for cable, so that's good.
So at Waterloo, we also have assisted listening devices. So we are finding that our bar is aging, and so we're putting more devices in place, such as visual devices to help people read. So some of them are, we have a couple of large magnifying glasses with lights. They're not expensive at all to have. We also have devices that you put over a book as well. We also have the cell phone and laptop charging stations. We have pieces of technology that they can borrow. We have the digital display in our library, which is new and have had nothing but positive feedback from our members and actually increased our membership renewal. And we get new members from that as well. Members, when we have events, they like coming into the library and seeing their picture right up on the TV from the events. We also have implemented Text to Librarian, which is getting a lot of traction with our younger and newer members. And that's being used frequently with them. We do that, Text to Librarians, through Wild Apricot. They do have that service through them. And then while Peel uses Square, we use AffiniPay, and that connects to Wild Apricots, and we can also use that as our POS.
Okay, I'm going to suggest we speed up the next few slides.
Yes.
Okay. Mentoring and volunteering. We're working on some mentoring strategies. You know, it's very difficult to implement a really effective mentoring program, so that's something we're always working on. But we do have practice law area section meetings. Depending on what area of law you practice, you can get together with like-minded lawyers and, you know, have bitch sessions or sharing sessions, whatever it is you want. We are also really good about identifying new people to our association and pairing them up with people who could be mentors or certainly people who could push them in the right direction. As far as volunteering, we are very blessed to have people who volunteer for us in a very unstructured way. They just roll up their sleeves and get their hands dirty. But we've also started doing some different things. You see our picture here with the Afghan sister judges. That's been something that's been very rewarding for us. And for the first time this year, we tried activating some of our members to do the coldest night of the year walk. It ended up being very, very effective. We came in 6th in Brampton. We raised almost $10,000 with a team of, 4 or 5 people. So we didn't realize people would be so into it. We tried other things in the past. They didn't work. This did, so we're going to do it again next year.
I'm going to go through mine very quickly. And I'm just going to draw the attention to just a couple of things. We have an informal mentoring system at the WRLA. We are now formalizing that process. We have 13 committees that board members or WRLA members are welcome to sit on. What we have something called power groups. And the POWER stands for Practitioners of Waterloo Region, and they're for different practice areas. So for instance, FemPower, which is the logo down here, is Female Engagement and Mentorship Practitioners of Waterloo Region. So we call it FemPower. And we have CrimPower as well. We have FLOWER for our family law group, ePower for states, MPower for employment. And we just have a new group that was formed last year called Power Out, and that is for our LGBTQ community, and they are working on different strategies for inclusivity for them within the WRLA.
We do a lot of original CPD development. We really try to celebrate the experts in Peel because Peel's a pretty quirky place. So we like to not really piggyback on other people's content. We like to deliver stuff that is very, very specific and relevant to our region. Here are some examples of some of the cool ones we've done. And we charge for all of them. Sorry, I just
We have Waterloo-centric programming as well. You'll see at the bottom just some of the ones that we've done since January or are going to be or up and coming. And we have a lot of engagement with our judges in Crown and Courthouse and other stakeholders who participate in them. And ours are free for our members.
You're cutting into a potential revenue stream. Why do that? Okay, the small things. This is where I think the magic is. These are the little tiny things that you can activate very quickly that make really significant changes. You'll see on the upper right-hand corner these ribbons. These are special ID tags that we introduced at Judges Night last year. They go on the bottom of your lanyard, and it really facilitated networking. It really helped people figure out who all the new calls were. It helped us figure out who all the judges were, because some of us, I don't appear before judges. I don't know who all of them are, but it was really great when we wanted to get them together for a photograph. And people really seem to enjoy having them. We also do lots of really cool little things, like the cheap innovation we introduced since I started was a candy bowl. Every week there's different candy, and we have people coming into the library repeatedly every day to try the new candy. If you're waiting for a jury, we have all kinds of special treats, blankets, pillows, games. We have a little bit of everything. I'm noticing now it says pampering in the robing rooms. That sounds a little salacious. It's not. We just offer all kinds of little things in there to make people's time a little bit better in our space, and we have little freebies. If you're really nice to us, we'll share things and tell you where all the hidden goodies are.
So I'm just going to go through really quickly. We do a lot of little small things as well, and like Joanne said, it does make a huge difference. 24 hours, 7 days a week, access to the library and lounge. We have Movie Friday at the WRLA. We pop popcorn, we take movie requests, and it's nice for our licensees when they're on break. We have monthly therapy dog visits come into the lounge. We play a game in the library and lounge called Find Elmo, which is this has been going on for years. Elmo changes places in the library and lounge, and suddenly we are slipped notes that says where's Elmo and where to find Elmo now and place it somewhere else. So it's a little bit of interaction with our members. It's a little bit of fun. It's light. And again, we do legal robe fittings for our members. We offer that once a year. We offer headshots twice a year. So we offer little freebies. Candies are always in the library. And the same kind of idea as you with games and cards, and that is available as well. So simple and easy to implement things. So who can assist you with your membership engagement? So your super users, definitely your members, your board of trustees, your association staff, your judges, your courthouse stakeholders. And just for instance, while I've been here today, I had a judge who's at the judges conference email me in to say, hey, I just spoke to a professor at the conference here. We're going to have them come and do a CPD. I think it'd be a really great CPD for the WRLA to do. So it's great to have that connection with your bench and your courthouse staff and have them kind of help with those and facilitate those kind of things. Again, your library staff, your association staff are all great in terms of assisting with membership engagement.
I'm just going to gloss over this one. The slides will be available afterwards, but I think if you're going to look at member engagement, you need a strategy, and you need to develop some awareness about your situation. You need to develop some awareness about your spaces that you have, the cohorts that are part of your membership, and how people are interacting with each other, including staff and directors, how they're interacting with members. So I would encourage you to look at this little checklist afterwards. It sort of helps you to paint a picture. It could be a good exercise to go through.
Moving back to lapsed members, can you get them back? Absolutely, you can. We have. We've gotten back our numbers from COVID and then some. What we found worked best with us is a personalized re-engagement. So by that, so when I assume that our members choose not to renew because they've forgotten. It's just my assumption. So I reach out to them personally. Either sometimes I'll phone them if I know that they're the type of person that likes a phone call, or I'll send them an email and just kind of say, well, we're really missing you, and just wondering, what I can do to help you re-engage with the association. We do this in the email. If I send out an email and if I phone them, I often talk about the value of the membership at the WRA. What do they get for their annual fee? Sometimes we do offer a discount if somebody's struggling financially as well. So there's lots of ways. We'd rather keep a member than lose them and have to try to get them back. So our association often looks at it as if somebody is struggling, give them a hand because next year they might not be, and they'll be able to pay the full membership fee at that point. We would just rather not lose them.
Just to add on what Pia was saying, research has shown that former members are 5 times more likely to re-engage with an association. They just need to be shown the love. Okay, so again, sending an email saying, we miss you, we want you back. It works. It really, really works. I've had people tell me that they felt seen and heard, and they felt like they wanted to be part of the family again. So this is, I think, the final sort of heavy slide. Some tips that sort of aggregate everything we've been saying today. It's good to try lots of little things. There's very little cost and effort when you try lots of little things. If you do something big and expensive and it fails, that's painful. But you can be nimble and agile and try lots of little things. It's also important to purposefully abandon things. So if you have something in place that's no longer serving you or is leaving a bad taste in people's mouths, get rid of it. When I started, we were charging people for pens. Now, when you go to the PLA, every pen I have reallocated from a conference somewhere or from the Doubletree Hilton Hotel. There are always weird pens available. So just little things like that make people happy. R&D, instead of research and development, it's rob and duplicate. And I wanted to remind everybody from associations, we're technically not in competition with each other. We're stronger when we collaborate. So Betty has an idea, I borrow it. Pia has an idea, I borrow it. Maybe you borrow an idea from me. And we just kind of get the juices flowing creatively. So we need to share what we're doing. I always think it's a good idea to always be vigilant and look around you and see what's working in other places. I spend time in hospitals. I go into the prayer rooms. I go into the children's spaces. I see what kind of neat things people are doing, and I bring that back to the PLA. My phone is filled with ridiculous pictures of all kinds of weird innovations that I've spotted. You can't go wrong if you watch what's happening, if you ask people what they want and you do something about it. That, I would say, is the essence of what we're talking about today. I believe that lawyers don't have enough fun, and we're certainly trying to inject more fun into the lives of our membership. People seem to really like that. It's okay to be a little childlike sometimes. Communications, people have different preferences, so be everywhere on all platforms, and you're gonna hit more people that way. And multiple options for multiple preferences. Some people are going to want one thing out of membership. Some people are going to want other things. So have lots of things for people. And this is the biggest tip I tell my staff: lead with love. I want people to be part of our family, and you can love people and not like them. But if you treat people lovingly, they're going to respond in kind. People are having bad days. Lawyers are in the courthouse. They're not there for fun. So if you show them loving kindness, they give it back to you. Oh, okay, we're librarians. We have to mention some books. Here are some books that I rely on and I have in my library. If any librarians or anybody wants to borrow these, you can interlibrary loan them from me. They're quite valuable. I would say the Red Book is particularly valuable. You don't need to pay for it. Just borrow it from me. I'll send it to you. Oh, you will. You will, Betty. I heard that.
Betty won't send it back.
Oh, she will.
Janet, wait.
So we'll just leave you with this final thought, just where are you on the spectrum of membership engagements? Are you just dipping your toes in it, or are you all in? We'd love to hear from some of you. I know a lot of you are doing very interesting things at your association, so if you'd like to share what you're doing with the group, that would be wonderful. Or if you have any questions for myself or Joanne, we'd be happy to answer them. So thank you very much.